Hi, hello again, my rubber baby buggy bumpers. Today's video is gonna be a showcase of a tank I've been working on and have, today, finished. Recently, you may have seen a series of posts regarding two tanks, either the T34 or the T34, and I asked you all to take a guess on which one it would be. Now that it's finished, we have today the T34 American Heavy Tank. Let's get into it. This tank is currently one of the most difficult tanks on my roster, as I thought it would be a great idea to make it compact like my previous tanks. As you can see, that did not go very well. Though it is complex, it is, by far, one of the best looking tanks I've made. Now, to a few, that may be a false statement, but to me, it truly is one of the best I've made, using more specific and finer parts for each and every detail. The current appearance for this tank will change at some point, however, as I am working on ways to better accurately recreate the real T34's details. A good example of both these statements would be the exhaust. Creating the exhaust would not have been a great challenge, if not for the fact that it was one of the very last things I created. With the restriction of everything else on the tank, I had to build it in a way that wouldn't conflict much with the other details. I landed on this, with the main exhaust pipes being connected to the rear engine grille, and the rest of the exhaust being connected on top of the fenders. It's a fairly simple design, and I thought it looked great on it. Another example would be the headlight fixtures and the front armor in general. The light fixtures were a great deal more difficult, as I had to figure out how to make them less complicated while also sticking to their real-life appearance. They ended up being more complicated than I wanted them to be, but the right fixture is significantly more simpler than the left. They were also difficult to attach, since they were also completed very late into progress. The front armor curve was created earlier, though it also had its fair deal of difficulty. The upper glacis plate was fairly simple, only needing an angle-locking block to angle it, though the gap it left was ugly. The closest to filling this gap was a 1 by 3/4 triangle wedge, which ended up looking really great and added to the grittiness and puzzle piece nature that I thought was visually striking. The chart was the simplest, excluding the armor detail on the back, of course. All it basically needed was a few compression blocks, and it was already done. The mantlet had to be made in 2 pieces and compression locked to fit. The area behind it also needed to be made with compression blocks, as the gap it had looked unappealing. The goal I had for this tank, along with all my other tanks, was to get it as close as possible to its real-life proportions. Looking at the wheels, you may have noticed that it is missing one, both on the road wheels and the return rollers, which should have a total of 8 and 7 respectively on each side. This was to get the rest of the proportions as close as possible. An old example would be my IS-2, which, if you haven't noticed, actually has 5 road wheels instead of 6. Overall, I loved the way it ended up, and I'm hoping to get a tutorial out soon, but with the difficulty of making this tank, soon, may be an overstatement. With that, thank you for watching.